I recognize the member from Nepean.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before I begin, I'd like to extend my congratulations to the Speaker on her election. It was an absolute honour to participate in this election of the first woman as Speaker in Ontario's legislature. I would like to thank the people of Nepean for placing their trust in me. I've always said that it is an honour and a privilege to be an elected official, and it is not a responsibility that I take lightly. Nepean, I will work tirelessly to ensure your voices are heard loud and clear at Queen's Park. Regardless of who you voted for, my door will always be open. I'm here to listen, to learn, and to advocate for our incredible community. I'd like to acknowledge my predecessor, Lisa MacLeod, who represented Nepean for almost 2 decades, and I thank her for her years of service. What we saw in the federal election last night is what I've known for years. Nepean is a special place. Nepean is a place of opportunity for growth and community. And for me, Nepean is home. I was born and raised in Barrhaven, and nestled in the western part of Ottawa, Nepean is the gateway between the heart of Ottawa and the beautiful rural landscapes our surrounding areas are known for. Nepean spans over 170 square kilometers and is home to more than 170 proud residents. It is an incredible place to grow up, to raise a family, and to be a part of a community. The people of Nepean care. When the massive storm hit in May of 2022, I know we all remember that well, I saw a community come together, helping each other clear the fallen trees and debris from our neighbors' yards, making sure that our seniors were being taken care of, and that everyone had what they needed. Places like our local Gurdwara opened up their doors to anyone who needed power, food, or water. Just recently, a new apartment building under construction in Bell's Corners was destroyed by a tragic fire. A week later, a retirement residence hosted a thank you lunch for the firefighters who bravely took on that fire to protect their community. The Barrhaven Food Cupboard is an amazing organization filled with caring and passionate volunteers who work to ensure that no one in our community goes hungry. This is the Nepean that I know and love. I am so honored to be standing here today as the MPP for Nepean. I want to make my community proud of who they elected, and I will work tirelessly every single day for you. It is with a heavy heart that I leave my full-time position as a registered nurse at the Queensway Carleton Hospital. I had several people tell me at the door, "Why should I vote for you when we have such a nursing shortage?" And I hear that, but what excites me is seeing the hope again in nurses and healthcare workers after this election. They see that a nurse has been sent to Queen's Park who is going to advocate for healthcare workers, patients, and the absolute basics of health. For 4 years, I worked in geriatric rehab. I was a part of a phenomenal team of various healthcare professionals who worked on getting our patients stronger and safe to get back home. This is the type of healthcare we need in our community, and the type of healthcare I will not stop fighting for. It is about time we ensure this province has access not only to primary care, but prevention. We need to change the way that people experience healthcare, and I'm here to be that advocate. Of course, I wouldn't be here without some pretty amazing people in my life. To my fiancé, Anthony, you are my rock, and thank you for being there for me throughout this wild adventure. To my amazing friends and team, Aaron, Jordan, Andrew, Chris, Connor, Renee, and Sarah, you all believed in me from the get-go, and I can't thank you enough for your support. To my incredible Liberal Riding Association and team of volunteers, thank you for everything. To my family, my mother Debbie, brother Brandon, and soon-to-be sister-in-law Taylor, Mary, Nadine, Brian, Aaron, and baby Lennon, thank you. And to my father, Randy Watt, who I know would be so proud to be here today, thank you for all that you did for me throughout our short time together. My father passed away in December after his battle with ALS, and it has been so hard losing my father. I struggle to this day why this happened. But one of the most important conversations I had with him was about how his legacy would continue. It was tough working 12-hour shifts, sometimes 16, and visiting my parents' house after work to help my dad. It was tough to watch him progress through the disease and lose his independence. It was tough to experience so many barriers and issues in our healthcare system. When we heard whispers about a possible early election, I had the conversation with my father about running again. I wasn't sure I'd be ready to do it. How could I be ready to do it and give 100% of myself to my community when mourning the imminent death of my father? This was something I had to seriously consider. But he said to me, "Tyler, you have to do it. Don't give up on what you have already accomplished, and use my story to advocate for a better healthcare system." I made a promise to my father that I wouldn't give up, and that his legacy would live on through my work as an advocate and at Queen's Park if I were successful. My father passed away on December 6, 2025. It has been one of the hardest things I've ever experienced, but I keep reminding myself how important all of this was to him and what his battle against ALS means for the changes I will continue to fight for. We need to change the way that people experience healthcare in this province. We need meaningful investments and increased access to timely, quality services. We need more care facilities, health hubs that serve as a seamless one-stop shop where all health needs can be addressed by providing access to physicians, nurse practitioners, testing services, and diagnostic imaging. We need to educate and retain more doctors and healthcare professionals and ensure that Ontarians can access the care they need when and where they need it. We need a government that will make the necessary investments to deliver that kind of healthcare we all deserve, because lives depend on it. As a nurse, I understand that health encompasses more than just your physical health. To even start achieving the absolute basics of health, you need access to primary care, a meaningful education, a clean world to live and breathe in, a safe roof over your head, and a stable income and job, just to name a few. These are all things that the provincial government is responsible for, and it's about time we start taking this seriously. It is our job to work for the people of this great province and improve their lives. We need a government that invests in our public education and healthcare systems. I am here with a new perspective, to give people hope again, to talk to the other side and people with different opinions. Ultimately, it is how we learn, it is how we grow together and make a positive impact for this province. I am here to hold the government accountable, to support them when they do good, and advocate for what matters most to the people of Nepean. One of the best things I took away from the 2 elections I've run in is the opportunity to connect with so many people, but also have the chance to inspire them. I learned that the best thing I can do to get people to vote is to give them hope. People want to know that their elected officials are listening, taking them seriously, and are passionate about representing their community on a provincial level. Some politicians are quick to dismiss young people and write them off. The amount of times I've heard, "Young people don't vote," but I ask you, why? It's because they want someone to believe in. They want someone who inspires them enough to go and cast their vote. I can't tell you how much it warms my heart when I meet young people who told me that the first vote they ever cast for was me in this previous election. It is a feeling and responsibility I will never take for granted. It is truly the honor of a lifetime to be standing here at Queen's Park. Nepean, I will work tirelessly every single day to represent you and make you proud, regardless of who you voted for. Thank you.
Question? Member from Ottawa West, Nepean.
Thank you, Speaker, and congratulations to the member of Nepean on your inaugural speech and on your election. I look forward to serving the residents of Ottawa together as your neighbor in Ottawa West Nepean, and of course residents of the old city of Nepean who are super proud of being from Nepean. We even have our own theme song, which I'm not sure you know the words to, but I can go over it with you in the lobby afterwards. I know you worked at the Queensway Carleton Hospital. We know that the hospital is not the right size to serve the population of the West End of Ottawa, and I'm wondering if you can share a little bit more about your experience there at the QCH and what kinds of changes we need to see to make sure the hospital can support the people of Ottawa.
Response.
Thank you for that question. Queensway Carleton Hospital is an amazing place. It's an amazing community. It is a community hospital. It was built in the 1970s to serve the population at the time, although Ottawa, Nepean, has grown immensely since the 70s, let alone the 90s when I grew up. It serves 50% of the population of the city of Ottawa right now, and it is still being funded as a community rural hospital. So, things that I would like to see done for that hospital, and things that they have been advocating for, is the necessary funding to expand their emergency room, double the amount of sizes of beds that we have there. We have one of the longest wait times in the province, and there's just not enough room, resources, or healthcare professionals to care for them. The other thing I would like to see there is just to help continue the expansion of all the things that they're researching into, the initiatives that they're taking. It is so wonderful to have worked there over the last 4 years, and you see people who've worked there their entire lives, and I think that speaks volumes to the hospital that it is. Thank you.
Question. Member for Etobicoke Lakeshore.
So fortunate that your
member is not in her seat. Yes.
Thank you, Speaker. So I did just want to say, my question for you is, you talked a lot about hope, and you talked about your nurse colleagues and your other healthcare colleagues feeling some level of hope seeing you here. So can you just talk a little more to the changes that you think that our colleagues, I'm coming from a healthcare background as well, like what do you think our colleagues would like to see, and what do you think you'll be advocating for?
Response.
Thank you for that question. I think that nurses and healthcare workers are excited to see one of their own, someone from the front lines that is now here at Queen's Park, Ontario's legislature, who can advocate for what they've been asking for so long, who knows what it's actually like to be on the front lines, to work in those conditions, those lack of resources, and who can actually do something about it, right? We all have the same goal of caring for our patients. We just want the proper resources and support to be able to do that. So to see the amount of colleagues I had that are so burnt out, who are considering leaving the profession or province altogether, for them to have seen me come here, to know that I'm going to be fighting for them, is truly meaningful, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Question. Member from Beaches East York.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And you mentioned giving hope to people, and I know with a lot of young people, I have two young son and daughter, who there's much apathy, and there's much despair over the climate emergency and housing crisis, affordability crisis. So could you tell us, what, from your point of view, what someone of your demographic, your age, would bring compared to, say, someone from the member from Ottawa South versus his age? What would you bring here that he wouldn't? Thank you.
Response.
Thank you for that question. Well, I think being a millennial, being someone in their mid-30s, knocking on doors, connecting with young people, it surprises them, right? A lot of people were surprised to see a somewhat young person who's running. And I think it gave them the chance to connect with someone that they could relate to, right? I'm having an authentic conversation with them. I am talking to them about the same issues that they're going through. I'm still renting. I feel like I will never be able to own property, right? That's something I can easily relate to with a lot of young people. So what I'm bringing to the table here is to represent those issues and problems and make sure that the voices of young people are heard.